Hey, Money Magicians, welcome to episode 11 already of the Money Magic series. My guest today is Musa, and she is incredible. So I'm going to let her introduce herself, and I'm going to switch off my videos so that we have enough bandwidth for this particular interview. So take it away, Musa. Who are
Hello.
you and what do you do? Tell us about yourself.
Hello, Vin. Hello, Money Magicians, and hello, new viewers. So, my name is Musa Mathole. Vin, you know this question of who you are. Amen. So, I would like to describe myself as a soul on a journey to remember who I am. And while I do that, I'm also a soul on a journey to heal and discover freedom for me, the past generation, the present generation, and the future generation of my lineage. So that's how basically I would like to describe myself in a nutshell. And I would say currently I have two jobs. And a mother and a wife, and currently mothering three beautiful souls, a 13-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 2-year-old, who push me to learn more about the job itself of mothering and try and do it better daily. And the second job of being a wife is still a mystery, honestly. And I'm still trying to figure out, honestly, if, it's what I'm cut out for. It is one of those difficult jobs because it requires you to look in the mirror, and learn more about yourself. And the lessons are just too personal on this job. So
Yes.
I'd say at this job, I'm currently trying to restructure my duties and learn more about it. So that's what I'm currently doing. That's just me, basically, in a nutshell.
Wow, I love that. I was just thinking as you're saying, I'm like, why are the Money Magic students so deep? Like, I was expecting oh, this is what I do for a living, etc. And now you're like, I'm a soul on a journey. Wow, I love it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So, Musa, what does money mean to you? How would you describe money to an alien?
Hey, then, I'd say money to me is a means of exchange, of getting the feeling that I desire, basically. So how I would explain it to an alien is, how basically whenever you want something, it's because you are basically wanting the feeling that comes with that thing that you want. So for me, example, I like traveling and seeing places, and the feeling that I get of, relaxing and seeing a new scenery, and, the warmth and, the mushy feeling that you get when you meet new people, experience new food. So I'd explain this to an alien that, so money is the exchange that I'd give for a service for me to get that feeling. So
That's
basically,
a new way of explaining it. I love it.
it's the current resource, basically, to me. Because when you look at money, basically, it's a resource like any other thing that you have in your life. It's just that, how your car is a resource for you to get from one place to another. So is money.
Yeah.
Money is a resource for you to get the ultimate feeling that you're looking for at the end of the day. Because most of the time when we want something, it's not really that we want the actual thing. We want the feeling that comes with the thing. So I would explain it to them that it's the current, because before money we had other means of exchange. So it's just that now money is the current means or resource of exchange to get a service that will give me the feeling that I desire.
Yo, this is some deep stuff, man. Like, whoa, okay, I feel like part of me just wants to pause and do my usual, like, I need to like take a break, because what you've just said is so, so powerful. Because what I'm hearing you say is that often when we're going out to spend money or to exchange resources is because we want to get a particular type of feeling or experience.
Emotion.
And that makes
Yes.
sense. When I'm buying food, I want the feeling of being full. I don't
Yes.
want the feeling of hunger.
Yes.
When I'm
Yes.
buying clothes, I want to feel pretty.
Pretty.
I never
Yes.
thought of that.
Yeah.
Gosh, so much for talking about emotional intelligence with money. I had no idea. I've never looked at it like that, by the way, Musa.
Yeah. So
Um, Musa, when did you start suspecting that your money story wasn't just about money?
um Venne, I'd say I think when I couldn't stay out of debt, and not what we call necessary debt, but the unnecessary
Yeah,
debt, to me unnecessary in a sense that I didn't need to have the credit card, because honestly everything that used to go on that credit card had nothing to do with me. Like, I used to use it to buy people, to buy things for people, to go to places and show up so that people can. So I realized that, so for example, I pay off this debt for 6 months, but I couldn't stay out of it. So I paid it off and say, okay, I'm done. And I'm not going back there. But then 6 months down the line, I'm back again trying to pay off this credit card thing. And I realized also that besides that cycle of keep going back to the unnecessary debt, and the fact that I used to do, a budget. I remember at some point I learned that maybe what makes the budget not work is because you call it a budget, then you feel the restraint. You should start calling it a spending
yeah.
plan. So then I started calling it a spending plan. But amazing enough, half the stuff on that spending plan, I would not be buying because I would not have the damn money. And I'd be like, for God's sake, I'm a treasury accountant. I manage the company's money very well. What is going on here? Yet I couldn't manage my own little budget. So then I'd
Yeah,
sit and be like, no, man, I think there's something more to this. So then I later
yeah,
found out that the reason I could do the company's money management so well is because I had no emotions attached to it. So that's why it wasn't taking me off and doing that yet. My one, because there's drama and all the other traumas and stories,
yeah,
so that's why it was so difficult. And money used to like basically disappear out of nowhere in the budget.
yeah,
Yet I did put it out there, Gucci, this is what I'll spend it on, but I'd never do. So I think that's
yeah.
when it dawned on me that, no, man, there must be more to this money thing and budgeting than what I'm doing, because clearly I've learned how to budget. I've learned the techniques and all that, but it's working at work, but it's not working for me. So then it means there's something other than what I'm
Ah,
doing that is not going right.
wow. I didn't realize that your story was so similar to mine. We spent so much time last year in Sri Lanka together. And like, I never
The
ever got
finance
around to,
graduates.
right? It's funny. I didn't know, like, how did we spend so much time together? So guys, Musa came to the Sri Lankan retreat last year. We talked so much and I just didn't know the story. So this is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my story. I know it so well.
Hmm.
Phew, wow, yeah, no. And I think what comes with such a story is the shame of it, because
Yes.
family members and friends will look at you, and obviously you're a treasury accountant, and at work, you are great. Everybody
Mhm.
celebrates your work. So
Hmm.
in your personal life, how can you not do this when like the work budget is even 100
Your
times more
daily
than your
thing.
budget?
Yes. You sit the 8 hours of the day and you work with millions. You're supposed to, manage the company's dividends when they come through, invest this money for the company, make sure it's put there, make sure that. Yet you can't even manage your own 2 rands in your own budget. You're like, how? Yeah, play 2 rands. Like,
You
you know.
know, though, Musa, I think what you've just said is so powerful. It's going to rock so many people because I think we all resonate with that. That is me. You know, you can put down till this day, put down a business balance sheet, an income statement, and ask me what is wrong with this and how can someone fix it. I can help you walk through it and figure it out.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Ogwami, yo, it showed me flames. Like, you
Flames,
know,
man,
mine would be
flames.
like 3 or 4 line items, not even the 20 on that balance sheet and income statement. And I'd be losing it as if you've
Ah,
just given me a PhD thesis to do.
yeah. So
Yeah, so
that's when I learned.
wow. Okay, so similar to mine. That is awesome. So when you heard about the Money Magic course, what did you imagine it was? And what did you think you'd be doing in the course?
Oh, then I remember, I think because I was already on the journey to, like I'm saying that I'm on the journey to discover freedom for myself and, heal the previous generation. And so that, the next generation, the children of my children have a better, basically life, than we had. So, because I had already
Yeah.
started the journey and I was already tapping into different groups and whatnot. So I think when I found you, I was on Lebu's group and you used to come there. Used to have a money slot there that you used to come and teach on.
Ah, yes, on stretch. Yes.
Yes. So then I used to attend your classes there. And I used to get so fascinated that what is she talking about? That there's this inner child business. And like, okay. So that's how basically I was introduced to Money Magic because from basically you talking about it in stretch. And then when I signed up, honestly, Ben, I got shocked that it's a lifetime thing. I used to think, Senzani for the lifetime, this thing should, So in my mind, I thought that, we'd get there because I remember I used to talk about, the inner child meditation would assist in the journey. And I was fascinated with it. I was so looking forward to doing the inner child because I'd never done them, and I'd be like, oh, wow, this would be great, So if I speak to my inner child, I'm sure 6
Really
months,
the inner child.
I'd be like 6 months. I'm like, I've given it a year. I should be sorted. And, like, honestly, it sounded like we'll conjure up some magic that would assist in this poof, voila, your money ish is sorted out, Lo and behold, Van didn't tell us. Oh my God. I remember in the group we were talking about, somebody was saying that, no man, this course is not advertised right. This is not a money course. This is a work on yourself course. So I think Nabi, when I came, I knew that some work on myself would be needed because I'd
Yeah.
figured from your teachings that, okay, and I'd find out that, okay, because I've done all the, the school or the accounting ways of trying to budget my money and do my money,
Yeah.
I was having a struggle with it. So I knew that I
Yeah.
needed then a relationship between myself and my money to work. And
Yeah.
I didn't know how to unlock that. So I knew that the money magic course would assist in that. But I didn't know that. Look at me, I'm still at this course. And Van, what fascinates me is that there's lessons on the money magic that I have not clicked on. Like I read through them as I scroll down, like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
looking for the inner child. There, I'm like, there's this one also. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, I'll come back to it. And then I'm scrolling down. But there is so much in this course that now I'm realizing why it's a lifetime course,
Yeah.
basically. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, because I honestly thought that the inner child meditations, I'll spend like I said, 6 months and then I'll move on to the
Yeah.
other things. Because I was excited when I got my linked into the course, which, oh wow, look at this. And I remember saying, maybe if I categorize the saying, I'll do the inner child for 3 months and then do this for 3 months, then I'll be done with this course in 2 years. Oh.
Yeah. I know people come in with that mindset, Kuti. I am going to master this course and I'm going to do it within the time period. And I'm like, guys, don't just tell yourself 3 to 4 years, maybe.
Yes.
and just keep it
Maybe,
moving.
true, maybe.
Like,
True,
don't
because
even.
and what's worse is that
Yeah.
then Uvangile comes up with extra meditation, say, guys, my guides said I must make this other one. So now and then you get hooked on those ones. And now you are working on something else. And later on, you're like, oh, by the way, oh, let's go back. so, hey, so yeah. So that was
Yes.
my introduction to the course then. And yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
still on
know.
it.
I feel like my guides tricked me into believing I was going to be teaching just about money. And I always feel like, you know what, I'm going to get to a point where I'm okay with this work. Ne? I know, Tiko Mami. It's like the time when I come to the point, like I swear to you, last week I was like, no, my life is on steroids. I am at 100%. Hebana. Then, like, literally, and like 48 hours later, was it not me bonding with all the various meditations in the course? And I am still there. I'm like, yep, we're there. And I love the work because of that. You know, it's that as you grow, there are new levels that you tap into and new things that you never knew about yourself. Like, I was telling a student a few days ago, actually yesterday, when she was like, she feels like she's meeting herself in the course. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for a while. And I only started feeling like I am meeting myself truly, like last week. You know, I was like, I did not know this person was there. I didn't know I even had these deep insights around healing and money and expansion. But there we go, because there's levels to our own expansion and to our own soul. So you never
True.
quite get there. And I think that's the beauty of it, because the soul is eternal. So you'd have to live eternity to know your own soul. You know?
Yeah, because there's so many layers and levels to yourself that you discover. And what I like about the course is that I think, like you're saying, each lesson makes you discover as a different part of your soul completely, that you get shocked that, oh, okay, so that's also me. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Welcome.
I know. But Musa, for you, it's a little different, because one of the things that you were sharing in Sri Lanka was how you actually are managing to distill or summarize some of this work for your kids. Can you talk about that? How are you doing that? Because I think that's a thing that most moms want to know. Like, as I go through this journey, how do I share the little bit of nuggets that I have? And I know with you, it's also your middle daughter, right? The 9-year-old that you also share this information with. Answer.
Okay. So then, for me, like I said earlier, that one of my jobs is a mom, and you know, when it's your job, you try and find ways to make it easier, basically, for you to do the work. And I found that basically doing the meditations, especially the, because I started introducing them to the meditation, just, you know, for the calmness. And you know, because when they come, because my kids still go to school type of, I haven't been able to be their homeschooler mom as much as I would love to, but I think I'm going to go to jail if I do it full time. So
I love that.
so
Know thyself.
you know, so I used to try when they come back from school to sit and do the meditation. That was before I got introduced to the money magic course. So then when I did, I discovered your higher self meditations. And there's one that is so calm and easy, where you meet your higher self and you know, you discover things and you talk to them. And I found that
Yeah.
they were very interested in that one, because I think it gave them a perspective of who. Okay. So then it gives them a perspective of who they want to be in life, you know, that they can aspire for more, you know, than your daily mundane life type of thing, because then they tap into their higher self, that, you know, there's more to you than just you waking up every day and watching TV or talking to your friends. There's actually a bigger picture. Because and that came about when they journal, that, you know, because there's journal prompts, then we'd sit and do the journal prompts, and it's amazing how they come
Wow.
up they with the things to say, this is the house I live in, this is what I do. Because I remember my daughter used to be so fascinated with, do you know, I bake and then I go and check my bees out, because she wants to be a honey farmer. Then I go and check my bees out, and you can see that none of them have the, I wake up and then I take my suitcase, I go to work. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So then this gives them an opportunity to say, you're not going to school to get a job. You know, you're going to school to
Yes.
get an education, fine, but you must know that that education you're getting, it does not necessarily mean you need to go and find a job. Then you can be something else other than what, you know, the mainstream says you should be. And I find that
Yeah.
doing the higher meditation, the higher self meditation, then assist them to see a bigger picture of themselves than, you know, the normal go to school, what we had, go to school, get a job type of thinking.
Yeah. My gosh. I was so fascinated when you told me that. I was like, so they can actually see that. But then when I think about it, as a teen, I was very like, I was like from a young age, I was like, I know I'm not cut out for office stuff. Like I just knew it. And I was just like, and people would ask me, what do you do for a living? What do you want to be for a
Yes.
living? And the only thing I could say was, I want to be a beach bum. You know, I wake up and I get paid for living and being on the ocean. You
Mm.
know, at the time
I
that
think that would
seems
be,
like
isn't that the
it
life
seems
though?
impossible. It seems impossible that I just wake up, I get paid, and I do my own thing at home and I laze around and somehow I make money from that. I could not explain how I knew that was a thing. And it didn't feel
Mm.
possible. And it took me years to figure it out. But then, you know, like as you go on this journey, then it's like that's the only thing your soul wants. So it was the thing that I was like, I have to make this happen somehow. Like, because I see
Mm.
myself
Mm.
traveling, being on different beaches, doing my own thing. So that must be a thing. That I think
Mm.
like having that higher self meditation starts to crystallize it and to start it at such a young age, Musa. Yo, that is
Mm.
incredible. So,
True.
Musa, have you been able to see a shift in how you show up or discuss money with clients, family, and friends since doing the course?
Van, I'd say that, you know, since starting the course, I think the biggest shift has been basically being able to talk about the money itself, because it
Mm,
used to be a hush discussion, especially around family. You know, people would make
yeah.
assumptions about your money and from how you show up. So today you show up
Yeah.
there, you dress like this. They're like, ah, this one is moneyed. Or tomorrow they
Yeah.
find out that you changed jobs. They're like, ah, so now you're rich. I remember my brother
Yeah.
used to say, oh, but you have a car, so you have money. And I'd be like, Kanchani, how do you deduce that? Because I have a car, I have money. Like, you know. So whenever you tell him
Yeah.
that you don't have money, and he'd say, but you have a car. So I would be like,
Ha.
so people have cars, have money. Oh, okay. So, but I think even from that discussion point of that people look at you from that point of view, that, you know, you have money, when that's what they assume basically. So
Yeah.
I think my relationships have shifted in a sense that now I'm able to distinguish between telling people that I don't have money, or and telling them that no, I don't have money for them. You know, because before I used to
Yes.
shrink myself and be like, oh no, I don't have money. And you know how they say, whatever you say, the universe
Yeah.
then reciprocates. So
Yep.
then if I kept saying I don't have money, then I end up not having money. So now I'm very clear. I don't have your money. And
Whew, amen.
and I can see what I can do for you. But I'm not anymore saying I don't have money. No, because I realize that the words that we speak actually create what we.
Oh, wow. Okay. Musa's frozen. I'm just going to wait now. Okay, Musa, so you froze on us just a little bit. So we lost you when you were saying that the universe reciprocates whatever we say. Like if we say we don't have money, the universe is like, oh, that means that she doesn't want money. She doesn't have money. So this is a truth I need to make real.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's why then I avoid saying I don't have money. So when I don't have your money, then I say I don't have your money, because then I don't want the universe now, keeping money away from me because of you. And I find that, how when you're in a clique and everybody now is playing small, or they're all saying, oh, it's like I'm so struggling, man. And I used to be part of those, oh yeah, I understand. And then when I joined the course, I realized that no, man, actually, I don't know what these people are talking about. Yes, some months, man, I'm struggling, but it's not every month. So why am I participating in the, yeah? So then I stopped. So now when people said, oh, that's what
Yeah.
I go, oh, okay, that's an interesting point of view. And then I'd move on, because I didn't want anymore to attract the, yes, I'm struggling every month, because honestly, it's not nice to be struggling every month then, So
Kabanga.
I think now the way I speak about money, and knowing and realizing that, the universe is listening and it will.
Our words.
Mm-hmm. So then
Yeah.
I try and put the words out there that I would like the universe to respond to, so I don't want to be saying, hey, Amina Mali, I don't have money, I don't have money. Then, when then I don't have money for real, then I'm acting surprised while I kept telling the universe how I don't have money. And you know how when they say the universe doesn't know jokes,
Yeah.
it doesn't know jokes. When you were joking about and saying, hey, Asitama, we don't have money. Oh, no. So I think it's
Yeah.
being on the course and doing the meditations and, just in general, doing all the other things that I'm doing around money and being on this journey of finding myself. I'm realizing that we really don't understand how serious the universe is about responding to the words we say. So
Phew.
being on this
Yeah.
course actually has assisted in the sense that now I'm comfortable to talk about money with family,
Yeah.
because that was my biggest issue. Friends, not much, but family, yes, it was an issue to try and explain to them that, why is it that you guys are working, but you tell me you don't have money? Yeah. So,
Hey, that one is hard, ne? Because
yeah.
like, yo, our families, right? And I think we can't really blame them, because also what is coming across is that, oh my gosh, what they told that these jobs pay so much. And then like from that, you have so much money. But the truth is that as the jobs pay so much, everything completely also, there's inflation, right? So people are getting paid a lot, but there's inflation, kids are going to different schools. There's just so much in our world that's also going up. So
That's it.
yeah, I love that, what you've
the
just
thing
said.
is the thing is, Manaven, is that family especially, they think that, because you work and they assume you have a certain amount of money from that work. So this is what I always find fascinating, that how when they say parents never think their kids grow up. So I always ask my mom that, so when you were a parent to me and you used to say to me you don't have money, because your money used to be going there and there. So you don't think I have such responsibilities now that I'm a parent? Because you still look at me as if, how when they look at you as you are a child of theirs who don't have responsibilities. So, you need to
Yes.
still give them all your salary. And you're like, but
Yeah.
I'm at the level that you used to be at now, where, I have kids that I need to look after. So it's like,
Oh, wow.
shame.
So, wow, Musa, I love what you just said about parents. Hey, so, wow,
Mm.
how has your approach to expansion, budgeting, and income changed since the Money Magic course? What is that? How has that been different for you now?
What shifted me mostly was doing the bank account challenge, because that literally shocked me into a shift. Because I used to do I used to do the budget according to, how they say you must put everything that is necessary that you need to spend on. So even things that you didn't want to pay for, they need to go in the budget, and you'd be sitting there like, So now after the bank account challenge, I realized that I need to budget according to what feels right and feels good to me.
Yeah,
So now that's
yeah,
how I do the budget these days. I put all the stuff that I would like to do with that money that
mm,
month. And if I
mm.
didn't get to the other stuff, well, this is over next month. And I find that I don't feel guilty with indulging in pleasures, in budgeting for the pleasurable things that I like, Kanti, before they used to
Yeah,
go at the bottom of the budget, like they'd be the
yeah.
last things. They're like when the money
Because
is
that's what
left.
they teach us, right, Kuti? Like, you only get to have a pleasant life and enjoy your money once you have spent it
No.
on everything else. So, Kuti, everybody gets
After.
to enjoy your money before you.
Yes.
I know, guys. No,
Yes.
this does not
Yes.
make sense. And then they expect people to get excited about earning money and budgeting. After
Mm-hmm.
this torture, Pella, this is torture. You're literally saying everything else must get your money before you, the person
You
who
do.
is working for it, the person
Yes.
that wakes up to do the stuff. No,
Yes.
that I
And
refuse.
when you say that, my brother has been doing this the right way. It's just that because society's norm is like, because my brother, we used to always fight about him that when he gets paid, he goes and he spends it on himself, even if what we would say, but uhambile, and then you bought everything that you enjoyed, and then now una my transport. And he says, but this body wakes up, yeah, and this body works very hard. It must be paid. And we used to look at him like, what are you on about? When you're supposed to pay for rent, you're supposed to pay. But now I'm realizing that, oh, he's had the right concept all along. It's just that he used to blow all of his money. Then, when you don't have money for transport, then it's
Yes.
no longer healthy. But I
Yeah.
think he had the right concept in a sense that you pay yourself first, before you pay
Yeah.
everybody else. It's just that he didn't have the
Yeah.
limit of paying himself and remembering that he still needs to go. But I found that,
Right. So actually,
with
it sounds like he was doing he does the pay himself first from a rebellious point.
yes,
When
yes.
you
I
don't
think
do it from a
yes,
point of
yes,
rebellion, it's different
yes.
because then you can
Mm,
say X amount goes towards that, and that's not
mhm.
to be compromised. And then there's still all that money left for
To
everything
do
else.
everything else, yes. So
Mm.
I think the biggest shifts for me then have been honestly the way we do the budget in the house, and we still
Yeah.
continue to invest in our EFTs and the shares. So my husband has a share portfolio that we run, and now, since the lockdown, we're trying to teach the kids then how to buy and how to buy shares and how to invest basically. So he's teaching them
Oh my
how to
God.
read about shares, and to
No
read the
way,
graph
Musa.
and to read the graph as to it went down. So basically in this house, everybody every week has to buy 2 shares and then monitor them for a week and then come and present what happened to your share. Did
Wow.
it go down or up? So this lockdown has been hectic in my house. We've been on the internet, and you know how when you buy a certain share and you're thinking, hi, this is going to do it, and then come the end of the week, like, how I thought people would be buying a shop right. You don't even have to go and find out. But
Oh,
I realized that
wow.
he's trying to instill the knowledge of them not relying on a salary, but learning other ways of making
Yes.
money. While on my side, I'm trying
Sure.
to teach them that, when you do your budget, you don't have to start with things that you don't like, or it shouldn't be a
Yeah.
restrictive budget, but rather, remember what is it that you like, and try and put money also
Yeah.
towards that, so that you can look
Yeah.
forward to making more money, so that you can enjoy. Because
Amen.
when you have to go to work for the things that you don't like, then you don't feel like going to emsebenzini anymore. So I think it's working out a little bit better, in a sense that now that I
Yeah.
know that we don't have to stick to the old ways of budgeting, we can do
Yeah.
pleasure and then do everything else. And you know
Oh,
how in the Money Magic group, pleasure is pro, hey?
is is the thing that we
It's
work
the
on, guys.
thing there.
We work on pleasure in the Money Magic course, guys. We do not, I don't
they
believe and
Those people
subscribe
don't
to the
play around
notion
there.
of struggle. I do not believe that because we're dealing with money, we now need to be struggling and holding on to everything. No, we can have money and pay off debt and save and invest and have fun. So this is also why
Mm,
I freak out when people talk about discipline, hey? And they
mm.
like, I am going to, dear universe, I just need more discipline. Just give me discipline. And I'm like, your discipline sounds so hard. What if you can just like dance your way there, marinate your way to being debt free, chill your way there? Like there are so many fun
Ease.
ways with ease
Mm.
to get where you're going. So I love that you
True.
brought this up, by the way. Oh
Mm,
my gosh,
mm,
this is
mm.
so powerful.
Yeah. So now
And
I'm on the ease and pleasure trip also.
oh, and how have you found that that actually does make a difference in just even the amount of money coming into your life and
Yeah,
how it comes in?
yeah, because Van, look, I haven't really worked in 3 years, I think, since we came back from Sri Lanka. I haven't really worked, like,
Yeah,
honestly, but we've been living, we haven't been, we don't do splurges and none, but we are good. Like, we have been living
yeah,
fine, and the amount of money we have in one salary has been carrying us, and there's a lot of us in this house. There's 5 of us. Like, yeah, we are a lot, but we've been good. And I find that because we've changed the way we do the budget, and now we don't feel so much of the pressure to let's get this. So now things are easier because we try and put things that we
yeah,
enjoy, kala, even though it's
yeah,
little things, but we like this, so we'll put it there, and then we'll get it, and then we move on. So I think it's the ease that comes with understanding the way we need to treat money has been very
yeah.
helpful. So
Sure.
yeah.
I love hearing this. Hey, this is like, you've just distilled the entire course in this,
Mm.
because that's the thing. Like when people first start the course, they go like, oh my God, I just looked at my bank account and I'm spending so much money on food. And my thing is always, as you guys know, do you like food? Do you like
Yes,
clothes? Is it your
then
thing?
do
if you
it.
if you're like me and you can eat all day every day, do not cut your food budget. Like that's what I
Yes,
tell people. I'm like, I eat
yes.
like when I'm on my own now, because I'm in Sri Lanka and Mangala is incredible with food, as you know.
Mm.
I don't go out as much, but when I'm on my own and I'm traveling, I like eat out every day for 30 days in a month. you
Mm.
know
Mm.
I'm like, guys, that's what I like. That's what I do. Like, I'm literally like only 3 months in a year can I actually say I bought groceries and I cooked. And that's when I'm in South Africa visiting my mom or my aunts. Otherwise, most the 9 months of my life, I'm always eating out, ordering in, trying new chefs, asking people to come, paying for people to come cook at my house, all sorts of things.
Mm.
Because
And,
that is important to me. And my budget is not necessarily affected by that,
mm.
because
I,
that is, not the way, like there's a different way of budgeting and doing this money thing.
Yes, and I think then that has taught me to take the guilt out of the whole budgeting thing and spending on the things
Mm.
that you love. I remember there's a friend of mine when we were doing the bank account challenge the one time, and we were talking about how much money, like you're talking about food, and she was saying to me, "Oh, friend, they were spending money on this Woolworths fruits and veggies," and I said to her, "So." Just buy the fruit and veggies because you enjoy them. So what's the point of you changing to go and buy a checkers when you won't eat the things? And she says, yeah, and actually at my house, they won't eat the checkers food. I'm like, so then don't
Yeah.
do it, because then you have
Yes.
this resentment and whatnot. So it's not helping your money out there. So do
Yeah.
what you love. Then remember we said when you feel good, then it raises your vibration and hey, a universe
Yeah.
responds. So, but I think on that tip of being on a pleasure streak and wanting to do what feels good, that is what the group has taught me, and I'm enjoying that and
Yeah.
I'm loving that, and I find that
Yeah.
I have less guilt when because Nagwami we
Mm.
love the food, and we used to put the food budget at the end of the at the budget also. We're like, hey guys,
Imagine.
no, we must put, because we keep spending. But then I realized that no, but we
Because
love
we
this.
can't
Let's
go to
move this up.
Woolies, ne? We
Yeah,
let's not let us let us not go to Woolies. Let's not shop organic. Let's not buy all these other things because it's expensive. Let's go to ShopRite. There's nothing wrong with ShopRite, right?
yes,
If
no,
you
there's nothing
like
wrong.
it.
If you like
But
it, yes.
if if you and your kids want Woolies, I'm not a Woolies fan, by the way, guys.
No,
I'm sorry, Woolies. I don't shop at Woolies when I'm in South
no, me,
Africa. I don't get the hype,
me
you know
neither.
right? But all those things on the budget that they would usually tell you not to get because it's so expensive. What
Yes.
I find is that the truth is that when we deny ourselves some kind of small pleasure, we will eventually, the soul rebels and gets the pleasure in another way, which is actually equally as costly. So
And then
yeah,
we
I
tend to
won't.
binge on that also, because now we're trying to
Exactly.
feel that whole very quickly. That, oh,
Yes. Because
yeah.
this is the truth is that so many of us in this world are pleasure starved. It's one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, that most of us are love starved and most of us are pleasure starved. And then when you are love starved, that's when you get into all sorts of craziness. And then when also we're pleasure starved and we deny ourselves pleasure, it's that like the day we decide to go on to give ourselves some kind of pleasure, it goes berserk, right? Because we're busy denying ourselves, denying ourselves, denying ourselves. And then one day you just go crazy. And that's what kept me in debt for years, right? That's because I would be like, no, I'm going to get out of this debt now. And then I would work so hard for maybe 2 or 3 months and deny myself everything. Literally come close to living on bread and water so that I could pay back my debt. And you know what? After 3 months, I would have a fit and be like, F this debt is not getting paid fast enough. And I would go on a shopping spree, go crazy, like buy airplane tickets, go on vacation. Why? Because I've been starving,
Starved.
starved of everything. So I think what you're saying is so, so powerful. And I think like the beauty of the inner work is where we deal with the guilt around allowing ourselves to put ourselves first and have that pleasure. Because it sounds counterintuitive, because how can you have pleasure and then still have such a good life financially? Yeah. So Musa, I'm sure everyone's wondering, what about the credit card debt pattern? Have you been able to get rid of that?
Yes. So I paid off the credit card, I think end of last year. Yes, I did pay it off. So
Oh,
I still have the credit card, but I have it for like things that, so there's other courses that I do. So
yeah,
so then they'd like to debit the credit card instead of your check card and whatnot. So then
yeah.
I give them that card, but then I put the money there every month for it. But then I find that since doing the course, when I don't feel the need to use the card to try and buy love and buy friendships and show
Yeah.
people that I can do this and that. So I'd say that the course has worked in a sense that it's been more than 6 months that I haven't used the card for anything or anybody other than myself, because the money
Whew.
that gets debited in that card is for a personal development course that I'm doing. And I'm
Yes.
happy with that. Like, honestly, I'm
Yeah.
happy with that and I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the change in our budget. So it tells me then that, my money story is somehow I'm getting clarity on what is
Yeah.
holding us back in the money and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I think the course is working, honestly, then. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, can you please tell us how has your understanding of ancestral trauma changed since the course? How did
Oh.
you see, and what were your thoughts on ancestral trauma? I ask this because people always go like, yeah, I know my trauma. Like people, like right now, the trauma is the buzzword. So people just throw it around, Buti. They know their traumas and they can list all their traumas. And I'm like, actually, no, you really
Mm,
don't. Because even
mm,
I don't.
mm.
So, I don't know mine. So maybe you know the obvious. But yeah, how has
Mm.
that changed? How has that understanding changed?
So then for me, like, I think like a lot of people, I've always defined trauma as uh, those big life-changing events that happen. Mm. Yeah, those big life-changing events that, say, for example, will be your car accident, or you have to move house. But being on the course, I'm learning that even those small harmless conversations that we call harmless conversations that we have,
Mm,
might actually trigger an emotion that you can't, or you don't process at that time, and then you suppress it, and then later on you don't understand why you get triggered by a word somebody said, or a facial expression somebody said, did during a conversation, or a hand gesture. Kanti, your body is remembering that, once when I spoke to somebody, something like this happened. And then you
yeah,
feel the urge now that, and you don't understand why is this happening. But basically what I'm trying to say is that I've learned that trauma is not necessarily the big things, only the big things that can happen in your life. Even
yeah,
the smallest things that, you know, can shift your emotion otherwise, and you don't process that emotion and it gets trapped in your body. That was a traumatic
yeah,
event, basically. And
yeah,
sometime in your life it will come up and you'll have to deal with it, and if you don't deal with it again, it will be suppressed, and at some point it will want to come up again to be dealt with.
yeah,
So ancestral trauma then to me is, as much as how we are connected with we have the same DNA as our ancestors, because there's things
yeah,
that they never dealt with, because we share the same DNA, the same bloodline with them. So whatever that they had and didn't deal with might or will come up at some point of the lineage, and somebody will have to deal with it. So that's what I'm finding out now during the course, that, there's things that, they happen to you, but you clearly remember that you were never there and this never happened to you, but you
yeah,
remember the event very well or vividly. But then I know that it's because, it's ancestral, that's why then it comes up and it needs to be dealt with. And some of our money stories are linked to all those traumas and emotions that our great grandparents, our grandparents, and even our mothers and fathers had, and they never got to deal with them. So now they come up
yeah.
in us, and you have to look at them and basically deal with them, so that hopefully your children don't have to deal with the same things.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I love what you just said about the fact that, like, sometimes we remember memories that, it's not yours. You're at least not from this
Yes.
lifetime. You're like, It's not from this lifetime. I've never experienced this because I am not this person that is coming up, but I feel it like it is mine.
Mm.
And so sometimes it's a past life memory, which I know you've dealt with past life trauma through the course. And
Oh,
also
yes.
it's ancestral stuff. I know, right? So like the thing is that the past life memories like give us so much insight as well, because sometimes we're going crazy wondering, why are we behaving this way in this lifetime? You just
Mm.
find that you are born with particular inclinations or things that you don't like or fears, and you're not understanding. And because you've only been working with this lifetime under the
Mm.
assumption that this life is
This
the
is the
only
only
trauma
life you've
that you have,
had. Yes.
you know? But
Mm.
as you know, by healing the past lives, suddenly this lifetime starts to make sense and it starts
Mm.
to heal you in this lifetime. So I think
Mm.
that's the thing. It's like we need to understand that trauma is multidimensional. It's not just this, we're not just dealing with our own trauma. We're also
Mm.
dealing with our ancestors' trauma. And then the soul carries its own trauma from other dimensions and other
Mm.
timelines. So
Mm.
we just have to be aware of that. We're not
True.
just living in a silo. So I
Mm.
really, really love that you brought that up. So, what have been the 3 lessons or meditations in the course that you feel have made an impact in your relationship with money, have made the greatest impact in your relationship with money or your mindset?
Oh, then where do I start? Ah. um, I'd say one, the inner child meditations, because you know how as children we interpret things differently when they happen to us, and we
Yeah.
make certain assumptions, and sometimes we don't have anybody to break things down for us so that we can understand what they are saying or what that event meant. Or at some point we don't even have anybody to talk to about those things, or if you do, like the answer they give you confuses you even more. So then you file that under certain assumptions, and then later on in life you discover that I've been doing certain things because I've always thought this is what happened. So I find that the inner child meditations assisted a lot in going back to break down
Yeah.
assumptions I had made when it comes to money dynamics at home and around me, that,
Yeah.
oh, I thought that this is what it meant, you know. So then when I go back there and to heal that child, you know, to give them a hug, to say, no, you know, I remember at Sri Lanka when we did a past life meditation with you, and I had to go back and hug the child and say that, you know, we do make it, you know, we do make it in life, and we do come back and we do something else. So this is not the
Yeah. Like
end,
that you
but the,
come, this is not the only
this is not the
lifetime you
only
live.
life you'll have. So it's okay, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I get
So
goosebumps from that because I remember that meditation.
yeah, yeah. So the inner child meditation are a definite, they were definite big shift for me. And I think the second ones would be the healing of the mother wound, because I lately discovered that, you know how um most of us were given a script, not necessarily written down, but the way it's been said so many times to you, that you must go to school, get a good job, buy a car, get a house, get married, have children, and then script siapela. Now you sit
Yep.
there. So
So Musa, we
then
just lost you at Iscriptis Yapela. Can you, just for a little bit, please, can you repeat that?
yeah, so I was saying that, you know, you follow the script that you're given to the T, and then when you get to you went to school, you got a degree, you got your car, your house, your children, you got married and all that, and then the script is finished. Then now what? You know, so then you stand there in the
Mm.
middle of the road, like, oh, okay, so where do I start? So then you need to find, because now it can't be the end of your life because you're not dead yet. So, you know, and you can't really go back and repeat the script. But then you find other ways to fill in. So I found that the mother wound meditations helped me a lot, in a sense that, because I was one of those rebellious ones who tried to do everything that their mother, again, so basically the opposite of what their mother did. So not necessarily that it was good for me or not. It's just that whatever that, if say, for example, my mother liked the color pink, then I'd go out of my way to say, I don't like pink. It didn't matter whether it was true or not, but it's that thing that I don't want to be like her. So I found that doing the mother healing the mother wound meditations assisted a lot in the forgiving and and trying to understand where she was coming from and whatnot, because I realized that a lot of my life was lived. I didn't live my life. Basically, I lived a life that was not my mother's life. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So I didn't live Musa's life, but I
You
made sure
basically
that she
defined,
doesn't live. Yes, she
you
doesn't live the
defined
other life.
yourself
So
against your mother.
yes. So
I
but
did that.
now,
Oh my gosh, I did
but
that for
now,
years.
yeah. So now I'm on this journey of finding out that who is Musa? What does she want? Leave your mother.
Mm,
You don't have to say, what does my mother like? Okay, then I don't want to do that. So, because some of the things that she did actually are good things, that you can incorporate in your
yeah,
life and learn and live. But because I was on this vow of not being like this woman in this family type of thing.
yeah,
So then I didn't live any life that was basically mine. So I found that
yeah,
those meditations assisted a lot in finding comfort and, getting to understand Guti as a daughter. This is where she was coming from. And, so the inner child meditation, the mother wound meditations, and the higher self meditations. Oh my gosh, those are the best.
I I like them too, but only now. Now that I'm like all about my higher self, like I was sharing with you guys, I created the Pinterest board. I'm like getting to understand her, what she's on about, and everything. No, those are
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
those are feel good meditations, and I think what
yeah.
make me like them more is my children, because I see how
Mm,
they sparkle and they see things. So then it made me want to
yeah,
go and say, Kanti, what is it that these people see here? So I find that those are really they one of those, they are soothing type of meditations, because then
yeah.
you find that, okay, sometimes your higher self says things that you like, Sisi, I don't get you, but at least
True.
I find that then I keep going back. I'm like, I wonder what did she mean by that, and then when it happens, you're like,
Yeah,
oh, this is what it was meant. And then
yeah,
just as a bonus, I think the ones that you did that I also enjoy the most when I've been are the breath work meditations, because for
yeah,
a longest time, I'm one of those people who have such suppressed trauma that I stopped feeling into the body. So I
yeah,
find that the breath work meditation help a lot, because when you breathe,
yeah,
then I could easily find where this is sitting, and I could breathe
yeah,
through it. And so I think
yeah,
that helped me a lot with identifying in the body, because even now I had to actually go for a medicine course that helped me to also be able to get into the body, to feel more into the body, because
yeah,
honestly, I couldn't feel into my body for the longest of time,
yeah,
and I can't tell you when did I stop exactly, because then
yeah.
I wouldn't feel
Trauma does that to a lot
pain.
of us.
And
And for a lot
yeah.
of Black women with deep trauma, what happens is that there's a dissociation, there's a mental and physical dissociation, because the body carries so much pain and so much trauma and so much memories that we don't know how to process it. So we literally check out of our own bodies.
Yes.
So, and that's why pleasure is so difficult for us. This is why, like, sitting with the body is so difficult. It's also why people don't like to be in exercise, because this brings you into the body. To get into exercise, you now have to feel things in the body when you don't want to be in the body. And it just feels more
True.
comfortable being in the mind. So you're literally just living from the head only, and that's why most people can intellectualize everything but can't, have a hard time really feeling where it sits in their bodies.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
those are my go-to meditations. I do go to the Akashic records when I need to, underline need to.
Need to. You are exactly like me, Shay Musa. Need to go. That's when things are bad and gooby. That's when I'll be like,
Bushubile, yes.
yeah, we should be like this. There's one place that I know I can get the help, but until
Yes.
then, it's
Yeah.
always my let's try everything else before we go
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Oh, I love that's hilarious because that's literally my thinking. I'm always like, And you know what's funny about Akashic Records? Because it can literally change everything, be the game changer. But
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
also like, but do I really want it to be the game changer at the
Now.
price? Like, let's try everything else before we
And
go for the real thing.
and you know, when you say that, and we never learn, because don't you think that the time that we keep wasting going everywhere except the Akashic record, we could have just gone there, found the answer, and then didn't waste all the. Okay, it's not a waste because you know you actually
Yeah.
do get work out, but you know you do get answers, but it's not the answers that the Akashic records will give you
Yeah.
because.
Yeah. No, but no, guys. I don't know about everyone else. Me, a last resort always. I'm like, before I go to the Akasha, can I please sort myself out? But I think that's hilarious what you've said, because it's like literally how we are about life and healing. It's like,
Yes.
I know I need this, but let me try everything else. And then when all that fails, I'll come back to this
Then
thing that I need. So
and you
I
think
get it.
we should be sorted by thinking, you know, this is the one place you definitely sure you'll get the answer. But you don't go there.
But
Why?
do I need that 1 hour that will like, because it's 1 hour true, but it's the
Yes.
crying and everything else that
Mm-hmm.
that will happen after the hour is done. The
Oh,
3 days of you
you,
trying to integrate and make sense of what just happened.
you know,
I
Ben,
always
when
say
you,
Akashic Records and God wound, my last
oh, don't
resort.
go there. Those ones. But you know, when you talk about the time thing, I remember when I did the motherhood meditations. I remember when I first time genuinely realized that there are 25 minutes, I think, or so. And I was so shocked. I was like, why did it feel like 2 hours? Because I mean, I'm not right. I was so shocked then. I was like, how is it that
Yeah.
this meditation, it says it's 25 minutes, but I'm definitely sure I've been here more than
Yeah.
2 hours.
You know, every Akashic Records meditation, to record it, I recorded it for 25 minutes in earthly time, apparently. But what it
No.
felt like for me to record it, I'm not even joking. The Akashic Records meditations literally felt like 12 hours. Like I was sitting there recording it. And I know everyone then experiences these meditations as like 5 hour meditations when they like
Mhm.
some of the shortest meditations in the course. They are
But
literally some of the shortest, but the way that we all experience them is like, yeah,
mhm.
it's been a journey, but recording them felt the same way. And I can't explain to people how that's possible. It was painful recording the Akashic records for me, because I remember being like, no, man. And then when I had to do one, re-record one, I almost thought I was just going to die. It felt like my life is just over now. Imagine 25 minutes causing you an angst of a day to say,
Oh,
should I not? Hey, you
but
know,
then, yeah,
like,
because you
I
have
know,
to listen, then you had to do it.
yeah, no, guys, like the first three Akashic Records meditations, no one can pay me enough money to just be like, yeah, I'm going to go re-record them. You're staring. I actually can't explain to people what it felt like. Because even when I looked at the time, I was like, no way.
Mhm.
No way. It felt like I've been taken through a whole journey in those 25 minutes. And then, like, when I hear the students refer to that whenever they do them, it's like, nope, this is like, it feels like a day and then some to do these. Yep, because that's how it felt like for me to record them. So I
That's why.
believe it, and it still feels like that to do them.
That's why I'm telling you that underline when I need to.
Oh gosh. So guys, you guys are getting so much of an insight into the course. Like, I love it. So Musa, people always think that they can just do this course on their own, or they'll get the same benefits by reading the blog, watching my free videos. What would you say to those people?
Well, good luck. No, honestly though, I think, I think then it takes, because the work, I think, genuinely, I think when you get to a certain point of this journey, you realize that you need more. So I'd say to them, they must do obviously what they can with what you offer for free there. But when it gets to a certain point, you will need to join the course, because what Uven gives you is sort of a taste. And when you get into the course, then that's when you delve deeper and you find that you have to do more work on yourself, and then you get to be in the group where the other people are on the same journey and you find you have similar questions or some things that come up, and you're like, oh, I remember I had such a situation, and everybody chips in, to assist with their understanding of the course, and remind you of the lessons that, remember, this is what comes up when you do this, and then Oven is the to give guidance now with that. But when you are outside the course, I think you can only do so much. Yet when you're in a course, like we say in Guti, the course is a lifetime material. There's a lot more, and when you're in the group, it's easier for the other student or Vanille to say, when you're saying, oh guys, this is what I'm dealing with, they quickly say, go to lesson mang. And then when you get there, voila, you get sorted, know. And when you search on the group, you find that there was a whole post about this one thing and a whole comment about this. And you're like, oh, actually, so I'm sorted. So I find that as much as I used to follow you also outside the course, but I think when you get to a certain part of this journey, you need to unlock a certain level, like in game, you play to a certain level. When you get to a certain level, sometimes you need to pop the money out to buy the coins in order for you to get to that level. So I look at it in that sense that I think that statement that says when the student is ready, the teacher appears, it's also valid the other way around, that even though the teacher is there and you think that, no, I'm good with just being here following this teacher, but at some point, as a student, you need to be ready to pay the teacher's due in order for you to get the knowledge and the acknowledgement, basically, that the teacher has gone through this journey in order to have the experience to impart on you and assist you on this journey. Because I believe that the teachers we follow is for a certain reason, is for us to get the healing we need on this journey as souls. So if you follow Vangile for a longest time and you don't actually get to do the core of what Vangile teaches, then why are you following Vangile? So I think as human beings, we need to get over the fact that everything needs to be free. I think, not everything can be free, as much as we like ease and all, but hey, at some point, like I said, other game, in order for you to progress to the next level of the game, you will have to part with some sort of thing, either your time or your money. So so I'd say,
no, I feel you on that.
They can go and do your work with the free work, it's fine. But when they get to a certain level of their growth, they will need to come into the big group and, be part of the group. And that's when you unlock a lot of things.
And there's just certain things that it's hard for me. It's hard to translate, even if I spoke about it and explained the meditation. But to experience it is another
It's a
matter. Like
different
something
thing.
like the Akashic
Yes.
records, we can talk about,
Mm,
oh, you can go into the Akashic records, all that. But to actually do the meditation and experience what we are talking about, this time thing
yes.
and all that goes into it, these are
Yeah.
completely different things than intellectually understanding something. And it's funny because Musa and I just had this conversation this morning about the power of doing the work versus like I
Yes.
intellectually understand the work and I can discuss it, right? Like I can discuss
Mm,
the vow of invisibility. We all know that it's not easy to be vulnerable, etc. But to actually do the work and experience how the vow of invisibility is actually playing out, that is a whole different ball game altogether. You know, it's not just intellectual, it's also grasping it on a physical level. Okay, so then my final question for you, Musa, is do you have routine for the inner work? I've got people who always message me and say, I want to do the course, but I don't know. I'm a mommy, I've got kids, all this stuff. Where do you find the time? How do you find the time to do the work? Do you have a trick that you can share
no.
or a tip?
But so you know how we normally come to the group and say, "Hey guys, I've been missing in action." We don't lie.
Yes.
We have been missing in action, Ngempela, because the work can get so overwhelming that you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm not coming, you know. But because you know how good, you know, that you if you do the work, you know that you're going to get the shifts. So
Yes,
it's not a matter of for me for okay so for me it's not a matter of daily type of work that I do. So I try and give myself an hour every day to do some sort of inner work. So
I
it might
like
not
that.
be money magic work, it might be other
Yeah,
meditations that I do or other
yeah,
things that I do, but I try in a daily basis. It doesn't matter because you know when you say I'll do it every day at 6 and then on Tuesday you don't wake up at 6 and then you start
yeah,
feeling guilty and whatnot. So I stopped saying that I do it at 6. So I say in a day,
yeah,
if I give it, I need to give myself an hour just to either sit
yeah,
and meditate or journal and reflect or read. And as the day goes, then I find when I'm busy working on other things, I can listen to a podcast or high vibration music.
yeah,
But I try and make it a point that it doesn't matter when. It might be an hour before bed when all the kids are in
yeah,
bed and it's quiet and I can put my headphones and do my meditations and then journal a bit. But I find that after I took off the restrictions of at 6 o'clock I'm doing meditation, I found that then it gets easier that because I have a 2-year-old and you can't really say
yeah,
at 7 I'm going to do my meditation because some days at 7 she's awake, some days she's not awake.
yeah,
So I try
yeah,
and say in a day, it doesn't matter what time of the day, at night, as long as I get to do just an hour of inner work. So that's what
yeah.
I do. I just do 1 hour.
I
And
like that.
for the course, like I'm saying that sometimes I go MIA in Bella. It's because it gets so hard. But I try that at least I don't go 2 weeks without doing any of the money magic meditations,
Yeah,
whether it be the
yeah,
breath work or the inner child. But I find that it works easier if I know I'm working on something. So, for example, this
yes.
past winter solstice, I was working on letting go of things that don't serve me anymore. And so that when the spring
Wow.
comes out, then I can put in new things. So now that
Oh,
that is coming
wow.
to an end, I've been clear. So basically, I've been doing a clearing for the past 3 months to try and, let go of all that no longer serves me and whatnot, doing all sorts of things. So
Wow.
now that I need to put in, because you know how when you take out stuff, you need to put in other things to replace them
Yeah.
because don't the other things will
Yes.
come back. So now that
Yep.
that is coming to an end, I'm looking into doing higher self meditations more, because then at
Yeah,
least
yes.
I'll incorporate whatever goals and things that my higher self then wants me to do easier in
Yeah.
this period of putting back something new and trying new routines and see if they
Yeah.
work, type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
I'd say I honestly can't tell people that I do money magic work every day. That would be a lie. No,
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I try and do it at least in 2 weeks. I try and get to do 1 or 2 meditations. So I
Yeah.
guess that's why I've been able to be in this course for so long. You can tell that I'm one of those slow, take it easy.
But I'm like that too, you know, like last week I took a break on up until Tuesday. So the week before, because I was so super busy. So even
Mm.
in the course, I was like to everyone, I went into the student group and I was like, guys, I'm just going to be marinating on pleasure, enjoying
Yes.
myself, like doing my own thing. So I also do that. And then like I come back, you know,
Mm.
and then I have moments where I'm like super into it. And then
Yes.
moments where I'm like, okay, we're just doing journal prompts now, we're doing something else. I
Mm.
think that it's important to give ourselves time off to also integrate the work.
Yes, the
Because I
work.
think
Yes.
sometimes this work is so deep. Like, I only realize how much of my not good enough script I have absolutely healed in the last week. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I started, and I think that sometimes we don't even, we just keep doing the work, keep doing the work. And then, like, one day something happens, and then you realize, wow, I don't even believe the old
Mm-hmm.
things that I believed for years. Like, who am
Because
I
you're
now?
integrate.
Yeah, because you've just been
Hmm.
integrating and integrating. And I think this for me is the power of the work. And I love what you're saying about rest, because Honey also said that she tries to do one meditation a week or one journal prompt a week,
Hmm.
something, because she also said like she's doing all her other things, right?
Hmm.
And that's
Hmm.
what I love about Money Magic students, is that people are invested in other personal development courses. Like personal development is
A
key
thing.
for everyone. Yeah, it's like a thing. People value it. So I
Hmm.
love that, because also when we're in the group, everyone's bringing this rich knowledge from all the other experiences that they're having out there. So this for me is
Hmm.
just amazing. So,
Yeah.
Musa, how do people get hold of you? Like, you know, as you were talking, I kept thinking to myself, do you and your husband ever plan to offer courses online to teach kids how to read about shares and investments? Because this is so powerful. But how do people
Obviously.
get hold of you? I'm sure mommies have so many questions.
Vangela, please don't plant ideas in my mind, okay? I'm not ready to be a teacher yet. I told you.
You're resting and having fun, I know, but just, you know, put it out there for
Part
the next
time, ne?
3 years.
Part time,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
part time.
time.
No, so I'm on Facebook, Musa Mathole, and I think that's where I'm mostly at. Instagram, no, not really. I just go there to check out the people that I follow and do, and then I have my email. It's musa@gmail.com. So if other moms want to connect, I'm here. We can chit
Okay.
chat about this journey of how we as mom are doing this and how we integrating our children into it.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Okay, so guys, I will share all that on Musa's Facebook link and her email in the Wealthy Money newsletter. So if you're in the newsletter, you will get that. And I'm going to switch on my video so I can say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so
Yay!
much, guys, for joining us. This has been so amazing. Musa has been incredible. If you resonated with this, right, and you love what you're hearing and you feel like you need to be in the Money Magic course, please check out the Money Magic course. It's currently open for registration, but if you're watching this and registration is closed, there is a waiting list. Just pop your name and email on the waiting list. You'll get all the details. But right now we are open for registration. You can go check it out at wealthy-money.com/money magic. One word. Again, wealthy-money.com/money magic. Send me an email, shoot me an inbox. I'm on Facebook. Ask me any questions that you've got, right? Like, I'd love to answer your questions. So, yeah, if ask questions around the Money Magic course, of course. So, thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much, Musa.